Bolivia is facing a major health crisis arising out of the shortages of US dollars. Yes, you have heard it right. The South American nation is heavily reliant on imports for many basic commodities, including medicines and other healthcare equipment, along with even food and fuel. The crisis in Bolivia is not just limited to one nation, but points to a larger problem with several nations of the global south with underdeveloped industries that are dependent on other economies for import, even for basic commodities like medicines, fuel and food.
Edwin Luna, a cancer patient, is running from one pharmacy to another in search of a drug for his chemotherapy. In the South American nation Bolivia, thousands of such patients are finding it increasingly difficult to obtain life-saving medicines and even items of basic necessities, as the nation grapples with shortage of US dollars required to import these items.
This
small bottle Rantidine used to cost 2 Bolivianos. Now it costs 6 Bolivianos. And still it's hard to find it. You have to search for it a lot. This is due to the lack of dollars. There are not dollars in pharmacies, so they can't bring drugs in the hospital. If I don't get the drug, I won't be able to get chemotherapy.
But why is Bolivia facing a dollar crunch? Like other South American nations, Bolivia is also dependent on US dollars to carry out its international transactions. The country is highly dependent on imports of basic necessities, including medicines, food and fuel. However, Bolivia's international reserves have plunged from $15 billion a decade ago to about $1.7 billion last month. This comes after Bolivia's exports of natural gas failed to rake in much currency home. Frustrated over the country's faltering healthcare system, marred by economic turmoil and corruption, many unions marched on the streets of Bolivian capital La Paz, demanding solutions from President Luis Arce's government. Meanwhile, Bolivia's central bank has restricted access to dollars and is charging double-digit commissions to raise the market price of dollar. While the official exchange rate stands at 6.96 Bolivianos, the rate saw a steep rise in the parallel market.
The central bank doesn't have dollars to supply to importers. Importers have to draw to the parallel market or the financial system. But the financial system doesn't have enough dollars, which has caused commissions to soar. At the same time, the financial system must buy dollars and find dollars at the parallel market.
Earlier this year in February, President Luis Arce revealed measures to increase investment and exports to tackle the dollar crisis. However, the dwindling reserves continue to raise concerns of devaluation of the domestic currency. As Bolivia is severely hit by the dollar crisis along with corruption, the nation could be staring at an exorbitantly high inflation. An alarming situation for a nation which has been maintaining the lowest average inflation figures in the whole of Latin American region in the last 2 decades. The condition of Bolivia now is similar to that of many South American nations that rely heavily on imports for goods of basic necessities and consumption.